Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the second shelf. You might have noticed, and probably not, don't worry about it, but I haven't uploaded last Sunday, and neither did I upload last Wednesday. And in case you were wondering, that's because my computer died on me a week ago, so Saturday a week ago, and I had to bring it to the repair shop on Saturday, and then it took until Tuesday for them to come to the conclusion that it's not repairable, at least not, for a reasonable price, and that I had to yell at the insurance company a couple of times to speed up things because I want my replacement because I paid insurance. And finally, just this weekend, I got my replacement, the same computer I had, an AirBook, and everything seems to be up and running. So I am back, and I'm back with another Booker review. If you're following me, you know probably that I decided to review the 4 books written by female authors on the Booker-shortlist. And I have already reviewed 2, Lucy Ellmann's Duck's Newburyport and 10 minutes, 38 seconds in This Strange World by Elif Shafak. If you're interested in those reviews, I will leave links to both of these videos down below. And you also find a list with all the 6 shortlisted books and a link to the Booker Prize website in case you want to check out the books by yourself. My third review is the book that I think has gotten the most hype and has been discussed the most from all the 6 books on the Booker list, and that is, of course, Margaret Atwood's new book, The Testaments. It was released on the 10th of September, and the hype and the secrecy was immense. I read this as a buddy read with a group of people. You will find their names and links to their channels down below, so please check them out if you are not familiar with them. And we read this over the course of a week. It looks quite big, but it's a really fast read. Before I go into the review, I want to tell you right up front, I didn't think it was a good book. So if you love the book, just so you know what kind of review you will watch if you decide to continue watching. I don't think I need to tell you much about the Gilead, the world which Margaret Atwood created in the first book, The Handmaid's Tale, which was published in 1985. But just really shortly, the Gilead is a dystopian world in America where Christian fundamentalists took over the government and where women are basically enslaved. They are either wives of the commanding men, or they are Marthas, which means they work in the kitchen, or they are handmaids. Those women who are able to produce children are forced to live with the commanders in the commander's household, and they are forced to have sex at least once a month in order to produce children. Because one of the problems in this dystopian world is that most people are infertile. There's also a group of women who have some power. They are called the aunts, and they educate, quote unquote, the handmaids. They have power over the female sphere, so to speak. They are the only women who are allowed to read and write, for instance. So that's the world of Gilead. And this book picks up 15 years after The Handmaid's Tale ended. Just in case you don't remember or you haven't read The Handmaid's Tale follows one handmaid, Offred. They are called Offred. Fred is the name of the commander, so they don't have a real name. They don't even have their own name. But anyway, so Offred is the main character in Handmaid's Tale, and we follow her ordeal in the household of that commander, and we also learn how Gilead came to be. When Handmaid's Tale ends, Offred is pregnant, not by the commander because he's obviously also infertile, but by Nick, who is working as a chauffeur for this commander and who is probably also a member of the Secret Service, the secret agency there, and this agency is called the Eyes. So the book ends with Offred being pregnant and being arrested by the Eyes, but Nick tells her, just go with them, everything will be all right. So we sort of think that there might be a possibility that Nick is actually one of the good guys, one of the resistance. Anyway, so this picks up 15 years later. There are three main characters. One is Aunt Lydia. As I told you, the aunts are the most powerful female group in Gilead, and Aunt Lydia is the most powerful aunt of them all. She plays a prominent role in the book, The Handmaid's Tale, and she also plays a prominent role in the TV series, which you might have watched. I watched it, and I really enjoyed it. The other two characters in the book are young women, teenage girl and a young woman, whom we know from the TV series, because one of the young women is the daughter that Offred lost when she was arrested. Before Gilead, she had a life with a husband, and she had a little girl, and the girl was 5 or 6 when she was arrested, and the girl was taken away and placed with another family. The second young woman's character is the child that Offred had with Nick. So in this TV series, we know that she was not only pregnant, but that she gave birth to a baby girl, and that Offred managed to have another handmaid take the baby girl, Nicole, out of Gilead to Canada. So when this book opens, the Offred's first child, Agnes, is one of Gilead's fine youth, living with a wealthy commander's family, and Nicole is 15 and she lives in Canada. We switch point of views between these three characters, and I thought especially the aunt was an interesting choice to have the perspective of the aunts in the book, because in the original Handmaid's Tale and the TV series, I think the aunts are really a fascinating group of people, because they are women but still powerful, and they are cruel. So I thought it was an interesting choice to have Aunt Lydia as one of the characters. The other two, I wasn't that interested. But that's not the main reason that I thought it was not a good book. My main reason was craft related. I just thought the plot was extremely predictable and very flimsy. So these three women sort of work together in order to bring Gilead down. That's the main issue. There is no suspense. Everything is so obvious. Everything that happens is so obvious. And this is sort of suspenseful themes when one of the characters has to flee Gilead on a boat. It's just boring. It's really, really boring. At least it bored me. The second thing that I thought made it into a bad book were the characters. As I said, I was interested in Aunt Lydia, and the first couple of pages, first 50 pages, I thought, well, that's not uninteresting to learn about the background of Aunt Lydia, which, in parentheses, by the way, is a different background than in the TV series. But never mind. Aunt Lydia in the book was a judge before Gilead happened, and then she was arrested and was sort of turned into an aunt, you know, not by niceties, but by cruelties, but it happened like overnight. You have this judge full of righteousness and human rights and whatnot, and then without any moral qualms or doubts or struggles, she just turns into an aunt. I thought that was really, really badly done. The same goes for instance, Offred's second child, so the child she had by Nicole, living in Canada as a teenager, and then horrible stuff happens and she has to do things, and she's like, Yeah, sure, of course. I mean, really? I don't know. So the characters were, it felt like the characters had to serve a plot. It was an external force of the author putting certain things on the characters, and it never felt that any thing they did came from within them, from any motivation. And the last thing I thought was quite badly done, and that baffled me because I enjoy Margaret Atwood as a writer, absolutely. The writing was not good at all, especially the dialogues. They were clunky, not only bordering on cringeworthy, but really cringeworthy. I mean, I couldn't see a writer as skilled and experienced as Margaret Atwood writing that badly. And the final issue was that all of that would have, made it maybe into an okay airport novel. Uh, if there had been something new, something that would add to the discussion of the political implications of this world, something new that was not, already discussed at length in the TV series, or the position of women that was really fleshed out very well in the original Handmaid's Tale. But this book doesn't offer anything new, any new aspect or any new um, point of view that would make a fresh, that would make it fresh or would add anything. So, yeah, not good, at least not for me. There are many, many people, also something that baffled me, that gave this book high ratings, also official reviews that thought it was interesting and well done and politically up to the, to current affairs. I can't understand that at all. And the thing is, in the Buddyread group, the 6 people, we are really different in reading taste. We are really different in reading preferences. And still, all of us agreed that this is not a good book for various reasons. Not everybody had the same reason, but we all agreed that this was not a good book. So for the life of me, I really, really can't understand why people think that this was well written, that it had an interesting plot, fleshed out characters. I can't. I don't. So if you're still watching and you like this book, let me know why. What am I missing? Anyway, this was my review of Margaret Atwood's The Testaments. Thank you very much for watching. If you made it through the 13.5-minute mark, I hope you enjoyed it, even though I didn't think it was a good book. And I'll see you all soon in the next one. Bye-bye.